the human endocrine system. So here, we have another system that functions similarly to the nervous system, but just a little bit different, of course. Nevertheless, in the nervous system, messages are being sent around in order to bring about responses after detecting changes in the environment. How do we call these messages that are sent around?
May you please repeat the question? The network has cut away.
I'm saying in the nervous system, the way it functions, messages are being sent around in response to changes in the environment. What are those messages called?
Impulses.
Impulses, okay? So similarly, in the endocrine system, messages are being sent also to bring about responses, and the message is sent in the form of chemical messengers, which are called hormones this time. So, hormones are organic, chemical messengers that alter the functioning of the cells. That's what hormones are. And the endocrine system functions using structures that we call glands. And whenever these glands are able to secrete substances, be it hormones or other types of substances. But then whenever glands secrete substances, they are meant to be delivered to a specific location. They don't just go at random. They are meant to be sent to a specific location that we are going to call here the target. Sometimes the target to the gland to the target, sometimes it is near. Sometimes from the glands to the target is far. When the target is not far from the gland, when it is near, the gland uses short tubes, like a pipe, that we shall call a duct. That we're going to call a duct, to deliver the substances, just like water flowing in a pipe, to deliver substances from the gland to the target. And such glands that have ducts, we call them exocrine glands. And the other glands, because most of the time they're far from their target, but not always, they do not use ducts to deliver their substances. They will use a system of transport that is already existing in the body, and that can connect any body part with any body part. It means if you use that system, whatever substance you put in there will be delivered to any part of the body that you can think of. What system could that be?
Our blood, I think.
Thank
What's it
you.
called?
The circulatory system.
Yeah, the circulatory system.
These ones use the bloodstream to deliver their substances. And we call them the endocrine. Those kind of glands that use the bloodstream, we call them the endocrine glands. endocrine glands. Yeah. Good morning, Princess Lebohang.
Morning, sir.
Welcome. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay. We've started the endocrine system. Did we do it? Did I do it with you?
No, sir.
We waited for you for 35 minutes and we decided to start.
It's okay.
Okay, so what I was saying is the endocrine system uses groups of cells, structures that we call glands. And these glands secrete substances that must be delivered to specific locations, specific parts of the body that we call a target. And I said the endocrine system functions just like the nervous system in that it's also able to detect changes in the environment and bring about responses. But the nervous system, to bring about responses, it sends messages around the body that we call impulses. And the endocrine gland is similar in detecting changes in the environment and bringing about responses. But this time it sends out chemical messengers that we call hormones, which are chemical messengers organic chemical messengers that alter the functioning of cells. Hormones are usually protein in nature. So that's what we said. And the glands are of two types. Some of them are far and near to their targets. And since they're near, to deliver substances from the gland to the target, they'll use short tubes like pipes. Imagine water flowing in a pipe. They'll pour those substances in the gland, in the short tube, that we refer to as a duct. And those substances will travel from gland to target. We call them exocrine glands, the glands that do that. While other glands, since they're far from their target in most cases, sorry, hello, I was saying, since these glands are far from their targets, they will rather use a system that exists in the body that can connect any part of the body to any body part. And that system is what we refer to as the bloodstream. So these glands will drop their substances into any blood vessel, knowing that since blood flows and goes to any part of the body, come rain, come sun, that substance will be delivered to the target where it will carry out its effect. So such glands, we refer to them as endocrine glands. Now, notice therefore differences here, two differences. Exocrine glands have ducts. Endocrine glands do not have ducts. For that reason, commonly they are called ductless glands, but that is not a biological term. The biological term that gives a name to this kind of glands is endocrine glands, but they are ductless. So first difference, exocrine glands have ducts, endocrine glands do not have ducts. Second difference, exocrine glands use ducts to deliver their substances to their target. Meanwhile, endocrine glands use the bloodstream to deliver substances to their target. Okay. Guys, please give me 5 minutes. Can I just attend quickly to something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about that. So, hormones can be, or the way hormones work. Are we here?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Have
sir.
we here?
Okay, sorry. So, the way hormones work, hormones can either work synergistically, in which case they work together to bring about a common effect. Or hormones can also work antagonistically, just like what you do with your best friends. They work against each other, especially in the back. And the effect of one cancels the effect of the other. So sometimes we'll be having hormones systems where we'll see hormones acting, and I'll be asking you, are they working synergistically when you observe it or antagonistically? You should be able to tell me. And hormones can be over-secreted. We talk of hyper secretion or under secreted. If it's not hyper, it is hypo secretion. Either ways, too much of a thing is not good. Too little also is not good. We need normal levels. And to regulate these levels, that's why the endocrine system uses negative feedback mechanisms that we shall look at a later stage. Now, we see that the nervous system responds to changes, brings about responses. The endocrine system also brings about responses. Tell me, do you think the nervous system and the endocrine system should work together? Or do you think they work together? Or do they work independently of one another? What do you think?
I think it depends on what is needed, what is required from the body. I think that's when they work together. But apart from that, they work separately, independently.
Okay. Princess Tema.
I also think they work independently because there are two
Yeah.
systems that have different functions.
Okay. Okay. Let me take an example. Rather, they work together. Imagine on a very beautiful morning, you're taking a walk, minding your own business, and all of a sudden you get the smell of maguinia. Okay? The first thing is that you freeze. And then you don't need a GPS to get to where this maguinia is being sold. You'll follow the smell and then you'll find it. When you turn around the corner, you see that lady frying the maguinia. She looks like an angel because she's holding your future. And if you find a queue, you'll stand there on that queue for a while with too much hopes, anxiety, and aspiration. You start salivating so much that if someone slaps you, you might pour out a river from your mouth. Now, let's analyze the story. When you got the smell and out of joy, you even start shedding tears. You start crying. So when you got the smell of the maguinia, Was it the endocrine system functioning or the nervous system?
It was the endocrine system.
Okay, Abraham.
Mm.
Hmm?
Mm.
What is that another system?
I'm not
Abraham.
sure. I'm struggling to answer this one.
When you get the smell, is it the nervous system or the endocrine system?
Oh, it's the endocrine system.
Okay, you rather die
Wait, when you
together.
get the smell,
No.
no, when you get the smell, sir, it is the nervous
Yes.
system. No, no, it's the
Oh,
nervous system.
oh. Lebanon, you see the human being you're following. He
He's
changes.
leading me
It
astray.
changes like the
He's
weather.
leading me astray.
No, I didn't understand the question at first. But then when you said
Comrade
smell, I was
Masuku,
like, oh, okay.
but you had a follower. Sense of smell, nervous system. When you turn around and you see the lady who's making the magwenya, is it the nervous system or the endocrine system?
It is the nervous system because that's sight.
That side. We call that process what? Sight, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the answer is accommodation. Masuku.
Yeah.
So it's accommodation. Now, that is the nervous system. When you start salivating in preparation for this sweet thing you're about to swallow, so that it goes down your alimentary tract very smoothly without struggle, what system is active at that point?
The endocrine system.
Thank you. And when you start crying out of happiness in hoping to eat it, what system is active at that time?
Is that the endocrine?
It's the endocrine system. Okay.
Yes, it's the endocrine system.
So all I'm saying is that the nervous system and the endocrine system work synergistically as well. They are connected. And the part that are connected in a certain part of the brain, that part of the brain that connects them, that links them, is the hypothalamus. It links both systems. Exocrine glands produce substances that are not hormones, like saliva, tears, sweat. In fact, it's not the first time you see the word duct. What word, where did you find that word duct? Where did you ever mention it? Let me narrow it down. During human reproduction, the male reproductive system, duct.
Oh, the sperm duct.
Thank you. The sperm duct, short tube connecting the epididymis to the urethra because they're not so far apart and transporting substances that are not hormones in nature. So that's an exocrine gland. That's how exocrine glands function. Okay?
Because it's near. All right. No, I understand. I see.
Yes. So you'll find your sweat glands, exocrine glands, your salivary glands, your tear glands or lacrimal glands, the glands of Meiboom that produce sebum, the oily substance around the eye, and all of those, your sebaceous glands, these are all exocrine glands. The endocrine glands are the ones that we shall focus the most on in this topic here, and we shall be discovering them as we go along. So that's just an introduction to what these things are. But since we've mentioned the hypothalamus, We are going to look at a primary hormone of the hypothalamus and how it functions. The hypothalamus is found in the brain and it produces hormones and stores them in the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland the pituitary gland is what we also refer to as the hypophysis. The hypophysis, commonly called master gland. But please, you'll never use this term, master gland, because it's not a biological term. Our two biological terms are that one. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, the hypothalamus produces hormones that it stores in the pituitary gland. And we say the hypothalamus is highly involved in pituitary function, which means most of what the pituitary gland does, it takes instructions from the hypothalamus. The primary hormone of the hypothalamus that we shall look at is a hormone involved in osmoregulation. So our next topic is osmoregulation. Water balance. That's what it is about. Osmoregulation. Okay, to understand this, I'll take us far first. Let's define it. Process by which the level of water in blood is kept constant. We call it osmoregulation. And you will understand that the water level, yes, must be kept constant like many other parameters in the body. And that process that keeps these parameters constant, we refer to it as homeostasis. I'm mentioning it today, but we shall look at it in detail in future. So start getting used to that word, homeostasis. Keeping things constant, like water level, salt level, body temperature, for example, in humans should stay at about 37 degrees Celsius. We call it homeostasis. Now, I was saying, osmoregulation, I'll take us first to a certain structure that we find in the kidney. We call this structure here the nephron. The nephron is the basic structural and functional unit of the kidney. It means whatever the kidney's function is. Each kidney in humans has about 1 million nephrons. They are very small, and they are the ones that carry out that function that the kidney carries out, which is to filter blood, okay? Which is to filter blood, take out waste products from blood, especially urea or uric acid. So in each kidney, you find such structures. I've drawn here just one nephron and somehow pointing that it leads to the bladder. The bladder is our natural JoJo tank. That's where urine is stored temporarily until you decide to pee. Now, the nephron is made up of a structure that we call the Bowman's capsule. It's made up of tubules. Tubules, again, are like little tubes. So we call them tubules. Because these tubules are for the urinary system, we refer to them as renal tubules. When we see the word renal, we always have to think of the urinary system. It has anything to do with the urinary system. So we have here the first tubule is the proximal convoluted tubule, the loop of Henle, and the distal convoluted tubule, then the collecting ducts, which lead to the ureter, that leads to the bladder, that leads to the urethra. Now, the names of the parts are not that necessary for us at this point. So, just the one thing I needed to remember here is that we refer to them as tubules. These are tubules. Better still, renal tubules in the kidney. Now, blood is delivered here. Blood is delivered into the Bowman's capsule of the nephron and comes into capillaries that we refer to as glomerulus. That blood contains blood cell, that the blood vessel that carries it carries blood cells, that's the blood component. The plasma component, plasma includes water, mineral salts, dissolved substances like amino acids, glucose, urea, uric acid, ammonia, and all of that. So many substances here. But then our point of focus here will be the water that we find inside here. When it comes here inside the Bowman's capsule, it gets into smaller blood vessels, which join again to form a larger blood vessel. The afferent arteriole takes it in. The glomerulus forms, those are capillaries. And then capillaries join to form the efferent arteriole. Like I said, the names are not totally important for us here. Now, when this blood mixture with water gets here, because the blood vessels are so small, it squeezes the content of that blood vessel. And since the content of the blood vessel is squeezed out, what will come out of there will be water. Water comes out and pours inside this place that we call the capsular space. And the water goes through downwards, passing through all those tubules that are mentioned. The water will keep on going. As the water going there. That's urine going towards the bladder. Okay? And when it gets to the bladder here, tell me, the water that's in the bladder at that point, can your body still regain it? Can your body get it back again? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Bohan, what do you think?
I think the body like reproduces them.
Hmm? Will the body be able to collect back this water?
Well, the ducts, not the water.
They will collect what?
The water ducts. The water it needs to excrete, right?
Okay, I'm lost in what you're saying.
Mm.
I've not mentioned ducts here. I've mentioned tubules, renal tubules. That's what I've mentioned. So I'm saying once the water has passed the tubules and is gone to the bladder, can the body get back that water?
Oh, then it
That is
needs to
it.
excrete it.
Can the body get it back? Yes, no.
No,
No. Thank you. What will happen to that water?
it needs to come out.
It will be peed out. That's the only thing that will happen. Are we clear, Masuku?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Us humans, we can't pull back that water, but I think the desert rats can do that. So we can't get it back. Therefore, I'll say that at this point, this water will only be lost. And I'll call it option number 1. Please follow. I'll call it option number 1. It so happens that the blood vessel that exited here will come back to form smaller capillaries, branches that will come around the renal tubules and rejoin here to form what we'll call the renal vein. It's a vein, but because it's part of the urinary system, we attach the term renal. That's the renal vein. Now, it also happens that the tubules that are here have pores, openings on them, little openings that we call pores. Sometimes these pores open wider, sometimes they close. Okay, so they do have pores there that can open. And once those pores are open, tell me, what do you think will come out of them once they open? What will flow out of the tubules? Hmm?
Is it nutrients?
From where, Chief?
Nah. Okay, nah.
Abraham, what will flow out of the tubules when those pores open?
Mm. Isn't it going to be the water as it's flowing?
Thank you. Stop there. You might say disaster later. Just stop there. Thank you very much. Okay. It was water all along. The water will flow out. Right, Masuku? And we agree that whatever flows out of the tubules must come to this blood vessel here. It will come and enter here. And once it enters here, where does it go to? It climbs, it keeps going, join the renal vein, and from here, where does it go to? It goes back to the body. We say it has been reabsorbed.
Oh, okay.
And we'll call
Okay.
it option number 2. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is your option number 2. Option number 1 says lost. And for option number 1 to take place, the tubules must be closed. So for option number 2 to take place, the tubules must open. And once they open, water will flow out of the tubules. Water will climb into the blood vessels that are coming around the tubules, these red ones. And it will climb until it goes back to the body. That's for option number 2. Now, so the tubule can either open or close. This is the wall of the tubule. It is perforated because it's got pores. Substances can pass through. Because substances are able to pass through, we say that the walls of the tubules are permeable. Permeable. Just like where you are seated right now, whatever room you are in, you needed to pass through a door. And the fact that you pass through that door, it means that that room is permeable. It means that that door is permeable. So the tubules here are permeable. Tell me again. Let's go on. Let's check again something. For option number 1 to take place, what must happen to the tubules? Must they open or close?
Close.
Okay, they must close. When they close, all the water stays inside the tubule and then everything goes to the bladder where it will be lost. For option number 2, what must happen to the tubules?
Must open.
Must open, and when they open, water comes out and goes to these blood vessels and everything is reabsorbed back to the body. So, if for a person to have less water in blood than normal, what can make a person have less water in their blood than normal? What can do that?
Dehydration.
Okay, what can make a person dehydrated? In case you didn't understand, that's the question I'm asking.
Mm. When they
Oh,
don't
Mhm.
when they don't drink
alcohol.
enough water.
Thank you. A long time without drinking water? Yes, Lebohan, what were you saying?
I was saying alcohol also
Okay, are you talking
dehydrates.
about yourself? Oh, that
No.
one I didn't know. Who am I to doubt your experience? I didn't know that one. Lebohan, you
Okay,
are
that's
informing me
rude.
here. Exercising or sweating, not exercising, because there are some comrades here who can run from here to Mamelodi and they don't drop a single drop of sweat. They're like lizards. So, sweating. When you sweat, you lose water. Therefore, a person who has lost so much water, which option do you think the person's body will choose here between 1 and 2?
Option 2.
Option 2. Label, huh?
Sorry, sir, please repeat the question.
A person who has lost too much water from the body, a
Yes.
person who is dehydrated, which option do you think the person's body will choose here?
Option 2.
Option 2. Thank you. Because option 2 brings back water to the body. And for option 2 to take place, what must happen to the pores?
They must open. They must open. They must be
Must
open.
open.
Yes.
Thank you. Good. Excellent. Now we are going to drop these words open and close. We're never going to use them. You remember when I said the tubules are permeable because substances can pass through. So sometimes, instead of saying that the pores open, we shall say the pores or the tubule becomes more permeable. And for saying close, we shall say the tubules become what?
Less
Less,
permeable.
thank you. Less permeable. How am I spelling permeable like this? Less permeable. Okay? The tubules are less permeable. In that way, we are going to cancel out these two words. There are just two things that I need you to tell me now. either more permeable or less permeable. Tell me again. A person who is dehydrated, the person's body will choose option 2. For option 2 to take place, what must happen to the tubules?
The tubules have to be must be more
Permeable.
permeable.
The tubules have to be more permeable. Excellent. Now, for the tubules to be more permeable, there is somebody who comes and gives that instruction for the tubules to become more permeable. And for the tubules to become less permeable, the person who normally gives the instructions to become more permeable should just not come. So when that person does not come, the tubules become less permeable. When that person comes, the tubules become more permeable because he comes to give the instructions. If he doesn't come to give the instructions, of course, there'll be no instructions given. Then the tubules will not be obeying to any instruction that were not given. That's what happens, simply. Now we go to the brain, somewhere here. In the brain here, we have a structure that I'm going to call the hypothalamus. And below the hypothalamus, I've got a gland that I'm going to call the pituitary. The pituitary gland. Okay. Now, inside the hypothalamus, there are blood vessels that are passing there. And next to those blood vessels, there are some cells, some groups of cells that are standing just there. These groups of cells are there just checking, looking inside that blood, asking themselves, this blood that is passing here, does it carry too much water? Does it carry too little water? Or it carries normal amounts of water? Okay, so these groups of cells are able to detect the levels of water in blood. Because of that, we'll call them receptors. Call them receptors because they're able to detect the level of water in blood and send impulses. We'll call them receptors. But then what is the name that we can give them here? Most receptors are named with a prefix, which somehow links with the parameters that they are detecting. For example, receptors that detect light, how can we call them?
The redness.
Oh,
No, what the heck? This is
receptors that detect light stimuli. What do we call them?
the yellow spot.
No, they're found there.
They are found in the cones and rods.
Okay, what's their general name? That's what I'm asking for.
Photoreceptors.
Thank you. Photoreceptors. So you see the prefix photo is there, which denotes light because they pick up light stimuli. Photo is a prefix for light, just like in photosynthesis, use of light by plants to produce food, to synthesize food. Receptors that detect chemicals, we'll call them chemoreceptors because they detect chemicals. Receptors that detect temperature, we'll call them what?
Are they temporeceptors?
Isn't it
No.
thermoreceptors?
Say again?
Isn't it thermoreceptors?
Thank you. Thermo for the word thermometer.
Yeah.
So receptors that will detect water, what can we call them?
Are they high?
Hydroreceptors.
Yeah, at least I'm glad you're thinking now already in that direction. It means that you're understanding what we are doing. But in this case, not. Any other word? Any other prefix you can think of?
Water.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Hydro's the only one that's coming to mind.
Okay. Masuko, do you have a mind?
Nah, I don't have a word. I was thinking of
Okay.
what? I was thinking of what? Liquid receptors, but I'm not sure.
Aqua.
Oh, that's very good. Try it. Aqua. Aqua. Osmo receptors. That's their name. Osmo regulation. Osmosis. Osmosis. The movement of water molecules from areas of their high concentration to areas of their low concentration across a selectively permeable membrane along a concentration gradient until equilibrium is reached. That is osmosis. So whenever I hear of water, I also think of osmosis. Okay. So osmoreceptors, where are they found? Where are these osmoreceptors found?
Um, throughout the body. Well,
No.
inside the body. Okay.
The answer is right there in front of you.
Isn't it in the brain as well?
Okay. Where in the brain?
Or the hypothalamus as well?
Thank you. That is 2 marks. In this essay of osmoregulation, when you say osmoreceptors, 1 mark in the hypothalamus, 2 marks. Usually the essay is out of 6. If you score these 2 marks and you collapse there, your children will not complain that you didn't try. Okay? So now they detect the level of water in blood. Understand that the blood vessels that is passing, the blood vessel passing inside the hypothalamus here, carries the same content and composition of blood as the one that passes in any other part of the body. It means if these osmoreceptors detect that the water level here in this blood vessel right here in the hypothalamus is low, then it gives a clear picture that the body is dehydrated. If it means if they detect that the water level here is too high, then it's telling the body it understands that even in your toes there's too much water. That's what it means. And too much water is not good. Like I said, too much of a thing is not good. Too little is not good. If water is too little, of course, you already know dehydration will take place. You can even enter into a shock because water is a substance that is needed for several chemical reactions in the body. If water is too much in the body, it will lead to tissue swelling that we call edema. Okay, you'll be like a balloon. So the level of water must be regulated and kept normal always. Osmoreceptors, therefore, in the hypothalamus detect those levels of water. And the hypothalamus will send a message to the pituitary gland. Remember, I said the hypothalamus is highly involved in pituitary function. And I said the hypothalamus produces hormones and stores most of them in the pituitary gland. And whenever these hormones need to be used, the hypothalamus will send a message to the pituitary gland to say, please, do you remember that hormone I gave you to keep? It is now time to use it. It's as though I make money and I give to a woman to, okay, not a woman, of course. You can't give money to a woman to keep because she might tell you now all types of story. She will say things like, oh, you know, when I was traveling, my uncle had a puncture. The train he was using had a puncture. How a train can now have a puncture. So you give someone money to keep, and when you want that money to be used, you just give instructions to that person to use the money as you see fit. Good. So the hypothalamus will send a message to the pituitary gland to release a certain hormone. That hormone, we call it antidiuretic. Have you heard of dialysis?
Yes.
Okay, comes from here. Antidiuretic antidiuretic hormone, abbreviated as
Sir,
ADH. Yes.
so I'm looking through the notes, and the notes that
Mhm.
you shared on this topic only end on osmoregulation. So there's only
Yeah,
3 pages.
yeah, I think I saw that. I saw that. Those notes are not complete.
Yeah.
And I forgot to share more. Please remind me tomorrow. Send me a
Okay.
message during the day to send
All
you.
right.
I have another student's book somewhere who had the complete notes. I have to send some of those pages.
Okay. No
This guy, I
problem.
told him to be keeping the notes throughout the year for me, and I'll get the book. And he said, wait. Then I see he skipped many things.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll send you notes tomorrow. So we call the hormone antidiuretic hormone, ADH. In your exams, if you have a question that has an answer as antidiuretic hormone, you are allowed to write ADH, you'll still get the mark. Okay? So, ADH, when it is produced, it will do so when the body has less water than normal. ADH then will go down to the kidneys and speak to the renal tubules. Do you remember that person has said someone comes to tell the renal tubules to become more permeable? You remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that person is ADH. And I said when that person does not come, the tubules will remain less permeable because they only know one instruction. The instruction is to become more permeable when that instruction comes through that person. And now when ADH comes here and tells the kidneys, the tubules will become more permeable, of course, the story is closed now. Our ring has been closed. That means option 2 will take place. Water leaves the tubules, water is reabsorbed, the level of water in the body is returned back to normal. Okay, now our essay. We're going to do this essay in the form of answering a question. Okay, can I move this? Any questions?
No, sir. Think you can move it.
Okay, thanks. So you write down this question. A boy runs uphill at a very fast pace. You see why I had to say boy, to make it more realistic, okay? And sweats profusely. Explain how the level of water in his blood is regulated. When you're done copying, you let me know. Are you done copying? I'm still waiting for you to tell me.
No, I'm good, sir.
Okay. Bebo. Lebohang.
Oh, sorry. I said I'm done. I thought I had unmuted.
Oh, not surprised. You told me how alcohol causes dehydration.
Oh, wow.
So, first bullet, osmoreceptors. In what? In the
Hypothalamus.
in the hypothalamus. Detect low levels of water in blood. Now, listen to this one here. Sometimes that part would say low blood volume. Sometimes it would say that, which means the same. Of course, if this is blood in a test tube at A, after I add water, if I add water, then the blood volume will rise up, isn't it? Hmm? At B, after I added water. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Between A and B, which one has less water?
A.
A.
A has less water. Between A and B, which one has a high volume?
Volume of water.
No, a high volume. The total volume. Total volume is here. Total volume is here.
Oh,
Which
it
one
would be
has a
B
high volume?
B.
Okay, B, correct. Why does B have a high volume?
Because of
because it
it.
has a. Okay, you can go.
Nah, Baba, go.
Because it has high levels of water.
Thank you. Do you see that the statement means the same, whether you say low level or low blood volume is the same thing. The blood volume is low because the water level is low. So just to make sure that it's understood like that, it's the same thing that we're talking about. Okay. Second bullet, the hypothalamus sends a message to what? Sends a message to who?
To the pituitary gland.
Thank you. To the pituitary gland. to the pituitary gland. Next bullet. The pituitary gland secretes more what?
ADH.
Thank you. Secretes more ADH. More ADH flows to the kidneys, causing the renal tubules to become more what?
More permeable.
Okay, more permeable, good. To become more permeable. More water leaves the tubules
And are reabsorbed back in the body.
okay, good. More water is reabsorbed back to the body. Because this is a homeostatic essay mechanism, you must always finish by saying that things are back to normal. The level of water in blood increases back to normal. Good. Now, additions. Tell me. Okay. Will this person produce more urine or less urine?
Less urine.
Less.
Thank you, Big. Thank you. Less urine is secreted. Okay. Will the urine be concentrated or dilute?
Mm,
Concentrated.
concentrated.
Okay.
Yes, it'll be concentrated.
Yes, the urine is yellowish and concentrated. Okay. I'll say hypertonic. Urine is concentrated. It is hypertonic. Now, less urine is secreted, true, because most of the water was taken out, was reabsorbed, and only less water was left to flow to the bladder. The urine is concentrated. It's as though I have sugar I have sugar solution in my teacup, and then I boil the water inside there, and the water evaporates but leaves behind the sugar. The water that remains in the teacup after most evaporation has occurred will become more and more sweet because more and more sugar is staying behind, okay? And water is evaporating. So that's why the urine is concentrated. We'll say that it is hypertonic because it contains a lot of solute. Now, please tell me what will happen on a day when a person, you write an essay on how the level of water will be regulated. On a day when a person has, on a cold day, when a person has too much water in blood than normal.
Okay. Osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus detect high levels of water in the blood.
Okay.
The hypothalamus sends a message to the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland secretes
What do you think?
less
Thank you.
ADH. Less
Okay.
ADH flows to the kidneys, causing the renal tubules to become less permeable. More
Okay.
water, less water leaves the tubules. Less water is reabsorbed back in the body. The levels, no, yeah, the levels of water in the blood. It's like let me say it like this: the water then goes from the tubules to directly to
Start,
the
start, start from where the pituitary gland secretes. I want to hear
pituitary.
again.
The pituitary gland secretes less ADH.
Okay.
Less ADH. Yeah, less ADH flows to the kidneys. The renal tubules become less permeable, which means less
Okay.
water is reabsorbed back in the body.
Okay.
Yes.
And I want you'll add there will be an additional point on this one where I'll say, where you'll have to say, more water is released with urine, or more urine is produced. That one must be felt, that water is being gotten rid of. Okay.
So we
Yes.
add that bullet point just after the less ADH flows from the kidneys.
Hmm? You'll say, yes, you'll say less AGS flows to the kidneys, causing the renal tubules to become less permeable.
Yes.
Less water leaves the tubules.
Okay.
More water is, or less water leaves the
Release.
tubules, less water is reabsorbed back to the body, more water
Okay.
is released with urine.
Okay.
Yes. Are we there?
Sure.
Okay. Now, and then the level of water in the blood decreases back to normal. So tell me, will the person pee more or less on such a day?
More.
More. Okay. By now you realize why you pee a lot on winter days. Okay. It's always like that because of this. And tell me, will the urine be yellowish or whitish?
It will be whitish.
Okay, Masuku,
I'll be white.
whitish.
Yes,
Very
white
good.
is clear.
Excellent. These are the people. The day you pee out urine and it comes out white like milk, you'll disappear from that place. Okay?
Well, yeah, it's clear. It's
You'll
diluted.
know that your enemies have done it. You're about to die. Okay? So you'll disappear.
Say, no, 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 no.
The way you said whitish with so much pride and confidence, I've never
Yeah.
seen something
Oh.
like that. The urine will be clear or transparent. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good. And of course, the urine will be dilute. If it's not dilute, or if it's not hyper, it will be, instead of hypertonic, we'll say, when it's not hyper, it is, hmm?
I don't know the right word for that, sir.
When it's not hyper, it is, I'm
Hypo.
hovering here. Thank you. So if the urine is not hypertonic, we'll say it is
Hypotonic.
hypotonic. Thank you. Okay. Now, listen up carefully. Uh, a reason why I included this part as well, the reason why I included here is because this is how your question could be asked. Explain how the level of water in a person's body is regulated on a day that the person secretes concentrated urine. What would you say? 6 marks. What will you talk about?
May you please repeat the question, sir?
Explain how the level of water in a person's body is regulated on a day that the person secretes concentrated urine. 6 marks.
You talk about the antagonistic approach,
Okay?
which is
Explain it.
the first essay you gave us.
Okay, that is it. The first essay, and this is the one still in front of you. This is what you will be writing. Exactly this. Okay? So they could ask you, explain what happens in a person's body on a day when the person produces too much urine. Then you'll be writing the second essay that I gave you. Osmoreceptors detect high levels of water in blood and blah, blah, blah. So please do not be taken by surprise. The essay might be twisted around. They can use these 3 things we've written at the bottom here. Good. Any questions?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Our next topic, salt regulation. Aldosterone. Aldosterone. Salt regulation. The kidney. Above the kidney, we have the adrenal gland. Above each kidney. The adrenal gland is made up of 2 regions. The adrenal cortex, which makes up about 90% of the adrenal gland, and then is yellowish in color. And produces the hormone aldosterone, the one that we shall be looking at now. And a smaller 10% that we call the adrenal medulla. It's about 10%. This one is kind of reddish in color and produces the hormone adrenaline that we should talk about in another lesson. The fight or flight hormone. Okay. So, right here now, aldosterone. Aldosterone is used to, or is a hormone that regulates the amount of salt in blood. Okay? So, listen carefully. Aldosterone functions exactly like ADH. Aldosterone functions exactly like ADH. So please tell me, what will happen if there is too much salt in blood? Will the adrenal glands produce more aldosterone or less aldosterone?
It produces more aldosterone.
Okay. Bebohang?
I also think more.
Good, myself. I knew that you would think like that. Well done, my children. When you feel like that, it's explosive.
Is it wrong?
What did you expect? You think, of course, it's wrong. Keep following that leader. Masuku, well done. Now, listen up. Masuku, he has disappeared after
Now
creating chaos.
I'm here.
Okay, I said there is too much salt in blood. And you tell me I must produce more aldosterone. And I said aldosterone functions exactly like ADH. Listen to what you're saying. If ADH, when ADH is produced, when there's more ADH, what does it do to the tubules? What does more ADH do to the tubules?
They become more permeable.
Thank you, more permeable. And when tubules are more permeable, which option takes place?
More reabsorption of water.
Thank you. So if aldosterone, which works exactly like ADH, if there's too much salt and then you produce more aldosterone, what does it do to the tubules?
Okay. They become more permeable. Then it allows for more salt, for more the water with salt to come in when it's supposed to
Back
be
to
less.
the body. Where you are dying already, these guys say, no, let's come and crucify even more, since you want to be like Jesus. So I I do understand the problem here. We are going to fix that problem later on. The problem is that the moment I say too much salt in the body, when you hear it, you feel like, oh, there is a crisis. And whenever there is a crisis, because you watch too much Nigerian movies, we know that when there's a crisis, we must call for Superman. And Superman is aldosterone in this case. That's why your mind says more. Forgetting that more here will cause even much disaster. Okay? So to avoid thinking like that, like I said, we are going to fix that problem later. The correct answer is that less aldosterone must be produced so that the tubules become less permeable and less reabsorption will take place. It means more salt will be sent out with urine. So when the tubules become more permeable, label hang, what comes out of the tubules under the influence of aldosterone? When the tubules become more permeable when aldosterone comes to instruct, what comes out of the tubules?
Mm,
Label.
So,
Salt. Thank you. So at this point, please do not say water. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and to God what belongs to God. It means here, When we are mentioning ADH, by the time we say the tubules are open, please, it must be water coming out. But when we are mentioning aldosterone, when we say the tubules are opening, this time it must be salt coming out. Okay. So, again, in an essay form, salt regulation, aldosterone. Did you write that topic?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So write this question. Explain how the level of salt in blood is regulated after a heavy salty meal. Like when you take your morning snack, papa and mohodo. When you're done writing, you tell me. Let's do the
I'm done.
channel.
Let's go.
Mic is on. Masuko, you're done.
Yes, sir, I'm done.
Okay, good. First bullet, you write, due to high levels of salt in blood, the adrenal gland is stimulated to release more, oh, almost said more salt, more aldosterone. Take from here, more aldosterone flows to the kidneys, causing the renal tubules to become what? Hmm?
More permeable.
Thank you. To become more permeable. Now, please finish that essay for me. What will happen next? Go right to the end. Let me see. Remember, in your mind, you are saying it works exactly like ADH. So what's going to happen?
Um, so, I think more salt will
Yeah.
leave the tubules,
Okay. Yes. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa,
wait,
wait. Due to, what did I say? Yeah, low levels. Oh, yeah, you're correct. Low level of salt in the blood. Okay, good. More salt leaves the tubules. Good.
and then
The doctor said high.
more salt
Yes.
is reabsorbed back into the body,
Okay. More salt is reabsorbed back to the body. Yes.
and then the levels of salt in the blood will increase. Well, increases back to normal.
Okay. Excellent. That's it. That's all. So when you finish, you copy this table. And you put the arrows exactly like I've put. Oh, please, this essay, I knew I'm missing out something. Sorry, ne? The essay you have here is not correct. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yes, I canceled this thing here. I thought it's explain how, not low. Explain how the level of salt in blood is regulated after a heavy salty meal. It means the salt level is high. Due to high levels of salt in blood, adrenal gland is stimulated to release less aldosterone. That's what we corrected earlier. So less aldosterone flows to the kidneys, causing the tubules to become less permeable, less salt leaves the tubules, less salt is reabsorbed, decreases back to normal. And here I would like you to include the point. A point saying uh, more salt is sent out with urine. I knew something was not right. Okay. So when you're done, you draw that table. Hmm? When you're done with everything, please you let me know.
Yes, sir.
Neighbor,
Sir,
are you done?
not yet.
Okay. When you're done, you let us know.
I'm done, sir.
Okay.
I'm just doing the errors now. Okay, done.
Okay. Good. What do those arrows mean? The ones pointing up, what does it mean?
It increases.
Okay. It means high.
And
Okay. And it means more in this case. Okay. And
uh-huh.
the arrows down means low. Uh, Based on our essays, the way we're writing. Okay. So your question or your answers, the parts here where we say, for example, in this your first essay, and even the second one, by the way, where we say the pituitary gland secretes more ADH. Each point that we've mentioned here is at least 1 mark. Each point that we've mentioned here. So, this mark here, if you don't put here more or less when it's required, if the answer is supposed to be more or less, if you just say the pituitary gland secretes ADH, you'll always lose that mark. If you just say more water leaves the tubules and what, if you don't put more or less, you'll always lose that mark, especially this mark here. So you must always tell us whether it is more. And the trick, and also to solve that problem of how you were telling me that if there's too much salt in blood, aldosterone will be more. To fix that kind of confusion, the table is here to show you. And if you notice from the table, you will see that the substance and the hormone vary always in opposite direction. When the substance is low, the hormone is high. When the substance is high, the hormone is low. So that we answer. It means if I pick up in my question that they are telling me that salt is high, it means that when I want to talk about aldosterone, I should talk about aldosterone as being low, like here. If I pick up that in my question, the water level is low, if that's what I've picked up, no matter how they set my question, then whenever I'll talk about the pituitary gland releasing ADH, I'll say the pituitary gland releases more ADH. So always think everything is opposite here. Opposite. Is this understood?
Yes.
Masuku?
Yeah, no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, last question. Explain how the level of salt is regulated when the level of salt in blood is lower than normal. Give me the answer.
Due to low levels of salt in blood, the adrenal gland is stimulated to release more aldosterone.
Okay.
More aldosterone flows to the kidneys, causing the renal tubules to become more permeable. More salt leaves the tubules, more salt is reabsorbed back into the body. Less salt is sent out the urine. The levels of salt in the blood increases back to normal.
Good. That's it. Lebohang, are we clear?
Yes.
Good. So we'll stop here for today. I'll see you guys on Tuesday, normal time.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Alrighty,
Okay.
thank
Yes, sir.
you. I'll
Thank
remind
you
you
too for
tomorrow
Thank you.
to share the
Yes.
notes.
Okay, no problem. Thank you too.
All right. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.